This is how we ride. This is how we do.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here today to talk about a very interesting situation with none other than Kyle Larson. And really, this is about Ross Chastain, who's slowly become a bully on the racetrack. Since he knocks Noah in his face a little bit, and obviously Noah didn't fall to the ground, so the hit wasn't that hard. Everybody's so shocked at how hard he hit him, but when you hit people hard, they go to the ground, no matter how stiff their jaws are. So I don't know why people are scared of Ross Chastain because he throws a punch. That's okay, but when your opponent doesn't fall, that means you ain't really got much of one. And today, I originally came on here to say that it was Kyle's fault, but I'm about to show you why this was 110% Ross Chastain just not being able to control his vehicle. He's driving over the car's capabilities. There's probably a ton of drivers out there that could do just as good as Ross Chastain. Put some of these cars, late model tour guys, in Ross Chastain's equipment, and they'll probably be better than him in 3 to 4 weeks. And have a little bit more respect for the competitors out on the racetrack. You take any high-level short-track asphalt racer right now and throw them in that one car, it's going to be just as good. That's how good that race car is. Everybody would be like, oh, well, Trackhouse, and it's got good cars, but if they're so good, then why ain't Suarez doing what Ross does? Why could Kyle Larson drive through the damn field in a Hendrick car, but Chase Elliott and all these others couldn't do the same? There are just cars and drivers that are good. You know, there's cars that are better. I think Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson about the same as far as talent in a cup car, for sure. But Kyle Larson able to come through the field, drive right by him. So that car that Kyle's in is pretty damn good. Just like that number one of Ross Chastain's vehicle's pretty damn good, too. It just ain't got the rider to make that ride do what it can be actually doing. If I was Trackhouse, I'd be trying to get Carl Edwards in the car next year. That's what I'd be doing. Talk about a racer with talent and respect. But let's take a look at this situation. on the track. Here's the restart on NASCAR and their YouTube page. Ross Chastain on the bottom, Kyle Larson to the outside. And I'm going to break this down for you on how it's 100% Ross Chastain's fault. We go into turn one. If you ain't seen it before, we'll let it play through. There's the contact. Ross Chastain turned into the wall. So here's the slow motion replay, and you can kind of see it from this other angle as well. Now, that's 100% Ross Chastain's fault for the contact. Let me just say something to you right now. Before coming on here and talking, I watched it a few times, and I paused it right there. Hold on. I originally was thinking, well, Larson's pretty low there. It looks like he crowded Chastain, and that caused the contact. But if you look at the cars behind Larson, they're going to go just as low with the car below him. Look at Harvick, which is in the orange and yellow car with cars to his outside. I believe that's Brad Keselowski and Chase Elliott. Keselowski about the same point on the racetrack as Larson is. We'll zoom it in here. So these are the same pairings, and you got cars following Ross Chastain in his same line. Now watch what the one car does, because he can't, actually hold on to the race car he's been given. Watch what he does here. He slides up the track. He loses control of his car. He can't handle that vehicle. Watch it again. Nobody else slides up the track like that. Keep an eye out on Byron and Harvick. They don't slide up the speedway into the cars on the outside of them. Look at them. They do not move. Why? Because they are Class A-ish drivers in NASCAR, especially Kevin Harvick. But Ross Chastain is not. And he loses his control of his vehicle, slides up the racetrack into Kyle Larson. If these cars, Byron, Harvick, all these other drivers over here on the inside lane, if they lose control of their vehicle like Chastain just did, we got us another 30-car pile-up that they have. It would have wrecked the whole field. But Chastain can't hold on to his race car. And I've been talking about this stuff in dirt racing recently. There are Class A cars with Class A drivers, and they do some Class A shit. Larson is a Class A and a Class A car. You know, Harvick, Class A, their car's kind of like Class B-ish right now. I think that this Ross Chastain situation is a Class A car with a Class B driver. But since he can, I guess, whoop Class A ass, which these are a bunch of rich kids running around here, they ain't ever really even been in a fight in their life. But regardless, this is a Class B move. He can't hold on to his vehicle. He slides up the track. Keep an eye out once again on Byron and Harvick, who do the same things with their Tando going through this corner. And Chastain can't hold a line. Because he's just Class B, man. He's a Class B driver. Class F respect. No class as far as respect. But as far as just talent behind the wheel, he can't hold on to his race car. And he's wrecking other cars because of it. He's just in over his watermelon head. And that's what I got to say about that. Now, Kyle Larson's obviously going to be upset. He's also never been in a fight, so he's not going to approach Ross Chastain. But I'll tell you what, all y'all, worried about Chastain, and now, if anybody wants to step to him, he's ready. Well, if I saw Ross Chastain and Noah Gragson get into that, I wouldn't be worried at all. Because, okay, yeah, he can throw a punch. He's a man. He should know how. That's instinctual ability for those who don't instinctually know how to throw a punch. I think Kyle Larson, even if he's never been in a fight, if he got into one, he'd have some kind of throw punch ability. It's in your genetics. But I wouldn't be afraid of Ross Chastain at all because I learned that he has no power behind his punch. Honestly, Carl Edwards act like he might want to come back to the Cup Series. Justin Marks, just make that happen. NASCAR, for some reason, is protecting this guy. They're not black flagging him for dirty wrecks. When he gets payback from drivers like Denny Hamlin did him, they're penalizing that driver for saying they got him back. And he's able to just run cars all over the racetrack, take out competitors, and then punch people in the face. And literally, are we calling it slap on the wrist, or are we calling it like praised and protected? I mean, that's really what's happening here. And it's enabling these types of actions to be okay. It's enabling it. And they're all right with it because it's getting ratings and it's getting fans and attention that they can't get with their on-track product. This ain't dirt track racing. Sprint car and late model racing, we throw the green flag, and the visual race you see is what sells. NASCAR don't really have that. They got to have late race cautions and cause all this drama and fights and stuff to even have an entertainment-based product. That's what happens when you lack on-track production as far as the show. Kansas was okay. Overall, week in and week out, it's not Formula One bad, which is the most overrated form of or class of drivers, I would say. A lot of nepotism and monarchy in that series. That's like the elite version. Definitely not as boring as F1. I was going to say not as boring as IndyCar, but I mean, when you're coming from the dirt racing world, you're used to a certain standard of on-track action, and none of these damn asphalt cars can do that. None of them can compare to what we produce. But when you can't produce to NASCAR's level, this is the stuff you stumble to. This is what you have to rely on to be able to exist. They've been losing sponsors, viewership. Cars can't keep the same sponsor on the vehicle all year long because people have just been tuning out. And they hit a little bit of a baby jackpot. They got a scratch-off ticket here with Ross Chastain and his antics, and they're supporting it and promoting it and protecting it. It's so damn sad if you love the competition element of motorsports. It's really sad what's going on over there. But that's why we are so lucky here in the dirt world. If you don't know what dirt racing is, if you're a NASCAR fan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you've been manipulated to think that NASCAR is the NFL of American motorsports, I'm sorry. You're wrong. I'm sorry. But you could get a little educated. I believe it's FS1, 7 p.m. Eastern this week. You're going to be able to see a 5-part documentary series about some dirt racing. Not all. Some of those drivers are good. Kyle Larson is pretty good, but there's other drivers just as good as him out here. And they beat him all the time. It happens. And we don't have to run them over and put them in the wall to do it. We just outdrive them. You do stuff like that in dirt, you get your ass whooped or kicked out of the damn league. It's not acceptable. because our product isn't a fight in the infield and a wreck on the track. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got to say. What do you think? Like the video, share the video. I'll try to respond to some comments. Going to be doing some traveling this week. Got some videos coming out. And it's going to be very entertaining here on the channel. So be sure to subscribe, and we will catch you next time.
This is how we ride. This is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose.